It's time once again for GLJune, the annual crossover where Green Lantern content creators team up to cover a multi-part storyline. This time we're talking about the Siege of Zi Charam, a Titans-centric crossover from the era when both Kyle Rayner and Donna Troy were members of the team. The Siege of Zi Charam is a 5-part story. Part 1 is New Titans number 124, covered by the Emerald Echo podcast. Part 2 is Green Lantern number 65, covered by the podcast Avoa. Part 3 is Darkstars number 34, covered by me in this video right here. Part 4 is Damage number 16, covered by the Green Lanterns podcast. And finally, Part 5 is New Titans number 125, covered by the LanternCast. Down in the description of this video, I'll have links to every part of this crossover as they become available, and I highly encourage you to check them out so that you can follow along with this storyline in order. Just to be clear, I will only be talking about Part 3 of this story, so if you're curious about anything that happens before or after, use those links. So with all that out of the way, let's get into Part 3. Darkstars number 34 is written by Michael Jan Friedman with pencils by Mike Collins, inks by Ken Branch, colors by Stu Chavez, and letters by Bob Pinaha. The title of this issue is Strangers in a Strange Land. The Titans are stranded in a distant galaxy, facing down 3 massive alien motherships. Their attempts at fighting back aren't really working, so the team regroups in their own ship and retreats to a nearby planet. The enemy is called the Progenitors. The Titans had hoped to find allies on one of these worlds, so they could all fight the Progenitors together, but the sheer scope of this invasion has made almost all of the locals unwilling to trust outsiders. Eventually, the team makes their way to the Council, which basically seems to be this distant galaxy's version of the United Planets. After pushing through some political infighting, it's revealed that the Council has a weapon that may be able to repel the Progenitors, but it isn't complete. 4 components are missing and need to be retrieved if the weapon is going to work, so the Titans agree to split into teams and go after the missing pieces. Green Lantern goes with Damage, Arsenal goes with Minion, Supergirl goes with Mirage, and Donna Troy goes with Terra. The thing they're trying to build is described as a bioweapon, which means that at least some of these components will be found in living things. So Donna and Terra find themselves chasing down one of the fastest and most ferocious creatures in the galaxy, in the middle of a blizzard! Terra makes a few attempts at corralling it with barriers made of dirt and stone, and eventually leads it right off a cliff where Donna catches it in a force field. And that's it! The issue just sort of abruptly stops. It almost feels like they didn't realize how many pages were left and just ran out. So yeah, this issue. Man, this might be mean, but the nicest way I can think to put it is that the whole issue feels kind of amateurish. Plenty of stuff happens in this issue, but neither the writing nor the art was able to present any of it in an interesting way. There are 3 action scenes in this issue, and all of them are pretty dull. And that last one went pretty far out of its way to give Terra something to do instead of just letting Donna solve the problem, which she did by the end anyway. On top of that, the majority of this issue is spent watching aliens we've never seen before, arguing about politics and being pretty racist about it. So if you picked up this issue because you're a fan of the Darkstars, or the Titans, or Green Lantern, you're probably going to be disappointed because none of them do very much. And at least some of that could have been alleviated by removing the subplots. This issue dedicates 6 pages to keeping up with 2 other storylines that have been ongoing in the Darkstars series, which I imagine was nice for fans who are reading every issue of Darkstars. But they don't have anything to do with the story of the crossover, and mean nothing to anyone picking up this issue of Darkstars because of the crossover. The whole point of crossovers like this is to hopefully convince readers of one series to also start reading another one, so I don't think it's unreasonable to expect all of this issue's content to be in service of that goal. If the subplots were going to be irrelevant to new readers, and take pages away from the main story of the crossover, then there shouldn't have been any subplots in this particular issue of Darkstars. Now on the topic of the art, there are definite high points. When it comes to drawing characters and faces, the art looks beautiful. But whenever the characters have to move and do things, the visual storytelling just falls apart. I mentioned it before, but action scenes should never look boring. There's something generic and weightless about the fighting in this issue, like we're looking at action figures that have been set up to mimic a fight. But yeah, that's Darkstars number 34. I don't actually know if the quality of this issue is indicative of the Darkstars series in general, or the rest of the Siege of Zi Charam crossover, but there's one easy way to find out. Follow the links in the description of this video to get the full GLJune experience and see everything that this storyline has to offer. And when you get the chance, I'm curious to know if you've ever read this story before. Were you a big fan of this era of the Titans? Were you reading Darkstars? Do you have any thoughts on the Siege of Zi Charam as a crossover? Tell me all about it in the comment section down below. And if you're new here and tried out my channel because of GLJune, hi, welcome! It's nice to have you around. I'm putting links to 2 more of my videos on the screen right about now. I hope you'll check them out. And if you like what you see, consider subscribing, because I've got a lot more projects on the way that I'm excited about, and I look forward to sharing them with you. Until then, thank you for taking the time to watch. My name is Dan. We'll talk again soon.